Hello there, and welcome to another edition of the Ultimate Fighting Chat podcast. Going to be discussing the return of the Ultimate Fighter, season 29, episode 5, at long last. And all we can do is apologize for the delay here. We finally got some new subscribers, and we said, let's get on it. Let's make sure we do this Ultimate Fighter review of the next episode. Let's get on it and do it quick. We both checked the recording, and it says episode 5, and we're all excited, as you would be. Press play, and it's episode 4, and we had to wait. The next repeat of it never even happened. I've tweeted BT Sport and UFC on BT Sport, and just so you know, mate, I still haven't got a response to that, so they still haven't replied. Bad, isn't it?
Should have tweeted DeFranco personally.
Yeah, well, I don't. You know what? I didn't think about that. I haven't. I could have searched for him. But anyway, that's the reason for the delay. So I'm going to apologise.
I mean, it's been causing too many people any sleepless nights.
Well, hold on. Hold on. I'm going to pick some people out who I think it might have caused an issue to. Kieran Bailey, Ryan Hanratty, Earl DMX Simmons. And to be fair to him, the original is Canebone, because he was there from day one. Yeah, sorry to all of you. I apologise to all you, including Ultimate Tonnet. I apologise to you as well.
Ultimate Tonnet.
I'm glad you did that. Reiterated. That's correct. That is a new subscriber. Brilliant.
No, I said it because I didn't understand the word. All right. Yeah, wicked. Welcome. Yeah. Welcome to the crew.
While I'm here chatting about these people, I just want to quickly say to Kieran Bailey, who's since been in touch, if you want to guest spot on the show, just let us know. And you're invited. No bother. If you're interested in having a chat about whatever, one of the events or whatnot, get involved. Why not? Get involved. So, on to the episode. And you're saying it's crap, are you?
Yeah, they all are, aren't it?
Well, let's see.
It's such a shame that, this show, it's got all the raw materials to be something good. And, they've had a lot of time to sort of take stock and think about this show and what it actually is. And I don't see why they think that just putting a bit of extra makeup on Dana White and making them walk down a corridor with a load of vests on before they have a fight, why they thought that was going to all of a sudden turn it from a dry, dull, bland, boring, monotonous series into something new and exciting. I've got news for them. It ain't worked. By the way, but this wasn't actually too bad an episode. This wasn't as bad as a couple of the episodes. Weren't as good as a couple, but it weren't as bad as a couple. But anyway, let's just go through it.
Well, I'm going to say that I do quite like the comment you said there about they had plenty of time to take stock because it took a break, a hiatus, as the word they use, hic, and that was perfect timing to have a think about what they wanted to do, especially as DeFranco said himself, I always knew it was going to come back. I always knew it was going to make a return. So it weren't like he went, well, why am I bothering to plan shows out and think about the Ultimate Fighter if it's finished? He said, no, it was never finished. We're just on a break. Now the Apex is done and built. We can start doing it again. All right. So I agree with what you've just said there, that he had plenty of time to sort it out and think about it. And they've come back with absolute copy paste. So we'll do what we normally do, and we'll do the show from beginning to end, start to finish, in order. And that's good for people because you know what you could do? Here's an idea, right? For Kieran Bailey, Ryan Hanratty, DMX Simmons.
You don't have to name check them every single time.
Ultimate Tonnet and Canebone. What you could do is listen to this show or watch this show while listening to this, and it will go in order. So, I think that's a great idea. I might even do it to myself. Team Volkanovski, they're on a bus after the coach's little drama, disagreement, tittle-tattle. I think I agree with them. Andre, I think he was doing rubbish chats, piping up all the time. Kept saying that crap about, well, they came here to be with us and see us after the fight, like he's some school kid. With his, dad who's finally come, who split up from his mum, who's finally come to pick him up from school. That's how he was behaving. So what? That's what I was thinking. Why does he think that's more important than being on time? Martial arts is partly about discipline. So being on time for class, etc., it's all part and parcel of it. I don't know why Raposo can't handle it, though. He ends up bringing it up again in the house, doesn't he?
That guy, he should call himself soy sauce because he is so salty. It is unbelievable.
Yeah.
He's being a right baby about all
I
that.
said that. I don't know why
fair enough. Fair enough that he might think that Ortega's a bit of a knob. I don't particularly think that Ortega strikes me as being my kind of guy either. I mean, what were when they doing the okey cokey around the house?
Can't do that.
Is it called the conga or whatever?
No, we do. We do the show in chronological.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Chronological order.
No, but what I'm doing it as well. What I'm saying is,
on that bit.
Well, I am. Yeah. No, we are.
No,
because we're talking about the Raposo Petrovsky, if you like, sort of disagreement. Okay. And I thought Petrovsky, sort of came across a bit cooler, a bit calmer, a bit more mature. Even though he was acting like a kid who's just been picked up, his dad's just turned up for the sports day.
That's it. Yeah, got all excited.
But yeah, Raposo just seems to be a big baby that he got done. You know what I mean? And it just seems that he can't handle the fact that he's been done. Maybe they need to bring in his fat mate that was sitting behind him in the car just to, sort of pep him up a bit.
Yeah, we liked him. He was brilliant.
Yeah, that knobhead. But you can't tell me that Ortega's any bigger a knob than that bloke who was sitting behind him in the car on his videotape. There's no way.
Hang on, but didn't we like one of the blokes in the car?
Yeah, we like the skinny guy, but the
weren't the big one,
the fat bloke who was sitting behind him who was shouting and swearing and all that.
I agree with you as well. I said, he was being a bit of a big baby about it. There's no doubt about it. But I do sort of agree with what he said, because even last week when that stuff happened, we were saying that Volkanovski, the team, they didn't say anything. I mean, to be fair, they didn't have to, because Chiesa piped up and sorted it out. You know what I mean?
Mm.
But they didn't say much. They did stay quiet. And is his name Andre, right? He didn't. He piped up and was doing all the powers. But on that show, if you remember, when they preview this coming episode, this episode 5, the old Desert Voice gave it the chat, didn't he? And said that stuff spills over into the house. And he made a big deal about it when previewing it. And I thought, is that it? I'll hold my judgment, because maybe there is going to be more. This is only the first 5 minutes of the show. But that was it. I mean, big bloody deal.
Yeah, I agree. Good DeFranco, really, right? He done his job. He made it look like next episode was worth tuning in for, and it wasn't. But it don't matter. I've already gone down as a viewing figure. He can already take that to the advertisers and go, listen, this is how many people who watch this crap, and he's made his money. But yeah, the show was. I mean, it was nothing. There was just
nothing there.
Nothing.
Andre took
it was just Raposo being a big baby, and Petrovsky basically, having a man crush on Ortega, and it lasted for about 30 seconds, and then they both walked off. I went, well, where's Julie Browning? Where's Julie? You know what I mean?
Where's Julian Lane or whatever? Bang Bro, where's he?
Yeah.
I just thought that there was going to be more. It was going to come up again, and when it didn't, I went, "Oh, blimey!" Good point. DeFranco did his job in getting viewers to tune in again. We're on to battles now. He's fighting at the end of the show, and his nickname is Pooh Bear. So he told the story of how it came about. I think he was talking trash to one of his teammates. Don't know why he's having fights with his actual teammate. He said he called him teammate. And apparently this teammate didn't have a good comeback, so he called him Pooh Bear. Listen to what he says. It wasn't a good comeback. It was such a rubbish comeback that he kept it for his nickname. I mean, what a stupid story. He even said to him at the time, don't call me Pooh Bear. Now his nickname is Pooh Bear. So do you like it or not like it? I mean, whatever. I suppose it just stuck. Look, I don't know about this nickname. According to him, Brian Battle is the nice guy, and Pooh Bear is the guy that gets into the cage. Sounds like he's got it the wrong way around.
Well, that's what I thought. Brian Battle's the guy that goes to war, and Pooh Bear's the cuddly guy on the sofa, isn't it? That's the way around it should be.
I thought exactly the same. A bit weird, isn't it?
I would get it if Pooh Bear was, I don't know, like General Woundwort in that Big Nasty Rabbit in Watership Down. I'd get it then that he's like a cuddly animal, but an actual real horrible sod instead.
Yeah, grizzly bear.
But he chose a lazy, docile bear that sits there eating honey and hanging around with a little piglet. I mean, that's not the kind of animal that you go, oh, I don't want to get in the cage with that.
Yeah, exactly. But bear might go to war, but Pooh Bear particularly does not go
He's a
to
drip.
war. Yeah, he's a drip. A honey-eating, saggy drip. I mean, he's the complete opposite of fights. He gets stuck in trees.
He's useless, yeah. Got crap mates, Eeyore and all that. I mean, just all of them are just like the most drippy bunch of mates I've ever seen. Piglet, even what's his name? The lad that walks around with him, Tom Robbins or whatever. He's crap and all. Anyway, let's not talk
Tom
about Pooh Bear.
Robbins.
Yeah, what's his name? You know, there's the kid that hangs around.
Peter. I don't know. It might be Peter Robbins or something like that.
Something like that, anyway. But it doesn't matter.
Yeah, he's a bit of a drip, Wellington boots and all that. But no, there's one of the characters who's all biscuits in it and all excitable, little thing jumping around everywhere, going mad. Well, Tigger, he's a Winnie the Pooh. He goes mad everywhere.
Yeah, Tigger's a bit better. Yeah, he should have chose Tigger. But anyway, I mean, who would you say had the shitter story? Battle or Ryder for their nickname? Ryder's made me cringe more. I mean, Ryder's almost pierced the sofa with my fingernails when he was.
Well, Ryder's was the one about a bloke at the party who said, "What's your name?" And he said Ryder, and he went Rhino, right? No, it's Ryder. He's like, "Hey, everybody, yeah, that was crap."
Yeah,
right. But this one is a bit contradictory. So I don't know.
What kind of a gym is he going to where the put downs are stuff like Pooh Bear? Can you imagine Darren Till using that as a put down in the gym? I mean, Darren Till would be calling that someone an effing cunt and God knows what else, right? Not Pooh Bear.
Yeah, well, it's true. It is a bit weedy. But then that's why he used it, because Pooh Bear's weedy. But then Battles has agreed it. That's his fighting moniker. That's what he takes in the cage with him. I don't know. Look, anyway, we're on the stage now where we see a bit of his fight footage. What did you think of Battles' fight footage and his training stuff as well? Because at the same time they amalgamated the two. They had the fight footage and then they showed him training with the current coaches on the Ultimate Fighter. What did you think? What did you think of that stuff?
I actually thought he looked okay, as in he looked like a guy who was at least trying to learn how to fight and the techniques behind fighting, and wasn't someone who was just investing his time in throwing terrible overhand rights and being just a scrapper. He looked like someone who was, actually looking, how do I throw a jab? How do I throw a right hand? How do I be at least a little bit looking to learn how to fight? And I thought, this guy might actually be okay. He might be all right. And I liked his amateur fight stuff. Thought it looked okay. So
did I.
Yeah, looked like what he looked like what he is, a guy that probably used to be a bit tubby and a bit overweight, who sort of boiled himself down a bit. He did look like that physically.
He did mention there, though, didn't he? It's a good point. He mentioned there that he fought at heavyweight, or saying his first fight was at heavyweight.
That's right.
He went down to middles. Yeah.
Yeah, got knocked out with a head kick or something, or booted in the head. Decided I'm going to go down to middleweight or what have you. So he done the opposite of Jake Collier. That showed in his physique and stuff a little bit. You can tell he's got, I am jumping ahead now, but on the weighing scales, he had some stretch marks, and on the weighing scales, you see he had that little bit of belly puppy fat left over. I still think his body looks wicked. For someone who was at heavyweight, who's got down to where he is, his body looks wicked.
Agreed. He's all long and lean now. Yeah.
Yeah. And it shows that he's been committed and been training well, eating right. So I thought I don't know if you remember, but at the end of the last episode, I said, I think Battle is going to win this fight.
I do remember. Yeah. You did say, even though he's doing them crap fists, I still think he's going to win. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. And I watched that tape and I was a little bit more encouraged that I'd made the right decision.
And the training on the mitts and stuff with the coaches, I thought that was quite good as well. So that was that. And I also thought, I agree, I thought his footage looked quite good. Ortega comes around the house with Tiki, have a bit of fun. That's
whenever you want to have a bit of fun, Tiki's got to be by your side.
And he was there. So he turned up, he was there, straight behind him, playing table football crap and all that. What is that called? Foosball? Is that what he called it?
Yeah,
is that what that's called? Is it? Foosball?
Yeah, foosball, yeah. I like
Do you know why it's called that? I mean, it doesn't...
Maybe
what does that mean?
Maybe it's just a German thing.
You think it's a German game, do you? No, I don't know.
Well, foosball, yeah. I mean, that sounds German.
Sounds it, yeah. All right, look, but Raposo, he comes up again in this scene, and he still seems a bit bitter to me.
Saying, daggers, didn't he? Had daggers. Yeah. So as Ortega was going around doing the conga or whatever, he was like looking at him as if to say, like, yeah, I hate you. He's so salty, isn't it?
He's not my sort of guy. He just seems really immature. But you know what I was thinking, what I could see in his eyes, in the ring light eyes? I think it was a complete opposite. I think he was liking Ortega and he was a bit jealous that he was round with Tiki having fun, and he was all bitter and salty, like you said. He was sitting there going, I actually starting to like this guy, but I can't do a change now. So no, he just used the word, he's immature. It's like, no. You are well jealous. You want to be over there playing foosball with him. And to be fair to Ryder, I know Ryder's and he's lost his fight and he's been done, and he now constantly wears sunglasses in the house. He was getting involved, wasn't he? Having goes on he was hanging around with him.
Don't forget, Ryder is the guy you don't want to go out partying with. He's the party animal, remember? Not only have we got the Rhino, we've got the Rhino story, but we've also got Brian Battle. Remember, I had a chat with him and said, if I went out on a town with you, I fear for how I'll turn out.
And this is the danger now, because Ryder's had his fight and he's lost. So essentially he's out of the competition, but still in the house. I'm sure it's going to be chaos.
Yeah.
He's going to prove it. He's going to look. It's going to come out. The college days are going to rear their ugly head. Sorry, guys, but I don't need to watch me weight anymore. Although he might need to. You never know. Or will he be called up again? I won't bother.
Unlikely.
Just a quick one as we're going through it, because people could be watching, doing it, what's they call it, a watch along. Did you see that bottle of water Ludwig was drinking? He basically pulled it off one of them barrels off the drinking stations in the office. Did you notice it?
No, what you mean, one of those big, massive, like 10-gallon things?
I'm telling you now, he was drinking one of them. I've never seen anything like it. It was absolutely ridiculous. He was sitting there having a chat, to the other bloke. What's his name? Kemran. He was sitting having a chat with him, and he could barely lift the thing up. Ridiculous. It was literally like he banged it off one of them things and started knocking it back. I don't know, 2 litres a day. I don't
know if you noticed, but keep an eye out for Andre Petrosky is having a chat with someone. Can't remember. It might be one of the coaches, might even be Ortega, but like the juice bar sort of bit when Ortega's around the house having a laugh with Tiki, and he's wearing one of those tops. You know when guys get a t-shirt and then they cut off the bottom half of it, so they wear a top that just basically covers their chest and shows.
It was a very split second.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and I was like, I'm pretty sure that's. It's a very camp look. He looks amazing, so he can pull off anything. He really can. He's got a bandana around his head. He still looks amazing with a stupid bandana around his head. He looks amazing.
But he didn't look amazing with that.
Pull off that t-shirt. Yeah, that's a bad one. That Mark Owen of Take That tried to pull that off on one of their music videos in the 90s, and it looked terrible.
Mark Owen. I was going to say which one. Mark Owen. Yeah.
Yeah, the little one. Yeah.
Hang on, ain't Mark Owen? Definitely
No, he's not going,
Yeah. Well, I think maybe Petrosky's trying to let people know, look, I'll do whatever while I'm in here with just fellas. You know what I mean? What did you think of the scene with Ortega coming around and being mates? Is he brilliant? Is it just while he's winning, he's all happy and excited? Would he have done it if he weren't 4-0 and all that? Would he have?
I don't know. At the risk of sounding a bit like Mitch Raposo, he don't strike me as being my kind of guy. I used to watch his breakdown vids with Renan Gracie and stuff like that, and I was always like, man, these guys are like a couple of cool surfer dudes. They're just like unflappable, chilled out, probably all like, hey, dude, don't worry about it, man. Probably go surfing in the morning, bang a couple of chicks in the afternoon, and then go train in the... I thought they were all really cool. And then I've seen them on this, and I've gone... They strike me almost like a couple of jocks. The guys that might go out in the town and get in a bit of trouble and end up banging someone out or something, which I never thought they were. I thought they were all cool, laid-back surfer dudes. They strike me as being a bit more jockey than
at school, they probably would have got on your nerves and been horrible to you and pushed you out the food line and all that.
Maybe, yeah. But they always offer lessons to kids that are getting bullied on videos, isn't it? So God knows. But anyway,
but maybe they do all that because of what they used to be like. Maybe they showed a bit of the true colours with a foosball game.
I think they're all right. It's very rare that I see someone go, I really don't like him. Yeah, just Mitch Raposo's mate in it in the car. That's the only one. That's the only bloke I had.
Well, we're on to Kemran Lachinov's home vid. Quite a bit about his little kid, Aslan Lion. That seemed to be the focus of it. Good name. That's the name of the lion in Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, right?
Well, I was going to say, I was wondering if that's where, was it C.S. Lewis got the idea for the name? Maybe from the fact that...
because he said it translates, didn't it? Yeah,
it translates lion. from Turkish.
Quite a good name because he didn't name his kid Lion, but he did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a good way of naming your kid Lion without naming him Lion Lachinov.
Yeah, but it's just like, say, for example, if you called I think the word in Japanese for son is Tayo. And if you called your kid Tayo, people go, oh, that's quite a good name. But if you called your kid Sunshine, people go, ugh, what a crap name. So it's just sometimes...
but is good both? Yeah, but you've chose one where one's good and one's not. But they're both good, right? Aslan sounds good and Lion is a good name.
No, if you called your kid Lion, he deserves to get pushed out of the lunch queue by Ortega and Gracie.
Well, do it then, because Lion will bang you out. He ain't called Pooh Bear, he's called Lion.
Not if he fights anything like his father, he won't.
That's true. We'll get on to that. Yeah, but you won't be able to get rid of him, though, will you? Won't be able to knock him out.
He's got a chin. That's about it.
He's got the same bone density as him. Yeah, you're going to have trouble getting rid of him out of that food line. Look, I thought his training at his gym looked quite good, but there weren't really much to go at here with his own vid. So if you've got anything to say about his own vid, have you? And if not, then what do you think of the fight footage? Because it also included his fight footage.
I can't remember his training gym.
Right. Okay. Well, maybe you do need to do the watch along with us then.
Well, you tell me what it was about then, his training gym.
In pads with his coach.
Oh, great. Okay. All right. Well, that told me a lot.
I did say there weren't much to go at in his own vid because there weren't. Anyway, fight footage. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember seeing some of his fight footage and I thought, this guy looks really run-of-the-mill and his overhand right is one of the worst overhand rights I've ever seen in my life. I mean, it's just...
He just kept throwing them in a row and all.
Just doing full 360 with his arms. Like, you know, when you do those warm-ups and you spin your arms around, it's basically like that with a closed fist. So I don't know what's going on there. But, he didn't look particularly impressive. And I honestly looked at him and thought, I think Battle's just going to point score this guy's head off. The only hope I thought he had maybe was that he roughs and ragdolls Battle out of it, you know, like grinds him up against the cage and drags him to the mat a few times. That was just from the amateur footage. That's what it looked like. He didn't look like he had too much, you know, in his favour, rather than being just a bit of a tough nut who's willing to go in there and have a swing.
And he eats loads of Turkish food. I'm sorry, but I've got to pick out things that he said in his vid.
I've been waiting years for this crap.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, yeah, but that's not DeFranco's fault. He said, send me an own vid, and that's what he got given. But as for the fight footage, I agree with you. At this stage, I was thinking, well, you're definitely right. I think Battles is going to do this bloke because there's not much impressive stuff in this fight footage. Although I did think with his coaches, he did look good again. But we've said that before, haven't we, about it in pads and stuff, and you can look qual. But in the actual fights, it didn't look good. And I agree. I thought, well, Battles is going to definitely do this, fella. But I swear to God, in that footage, he was getting belt after belt slung around his waist in these promotions he was in. I'm pretty sure there was at least 2 different ones. Then it showed some of the training with the Ortega coaches in the gym. And if you remember, the Ortega coach, you know, the one with the big blockhead that Chiesa had to go at, square-headed bloke, he shouted out to Kemran. He was outside the cage, you know, talking about the stuff he's doing. He shouted out, your only loss is to a top 5 guy. You're undefeated. What? Your only loss is to, remember, your only loss is to a top 5 guy. You're undefeated.
I didn't realise that's how it works, that if you lost to a top 5 guy, it doesn't count as a loss. So Masvidal hasn't lost to his man.
Because he's the champ. Yeah, so you don't. That's not a loss. Don't go on your record that one.
There's a big fight between McGregor and Poirier coming along soon. I think one's ranked number 1 and one's ranked number 3 or something. Doesn't really matter who wins because whoever loses doesn't lose anyway. So I mean, they're both winners at the end of the day. Right? So I didn't realise that's the way it works. But it's that's why he's the expert, and we're sat here.
I suppose what he was trying to do there was give him the undefeated thing, let him know that, look, you don't get done. It's like, well, you have got done. You've actually just told him in that statement that's supposed to make him think, yeah, you're right, I don't get done, I'm undefeated. In that statement, you told him, but you have got done before.
Yeah, I guess.
Don't forget you've got done.
You only get done by top elite level guys. You don't get done by the Brian Battles.
Yeah, you don't get done by Battles, yeah. Or don't he? I don't know, but we're not on that bit. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. We're here. We're on the Battle Zone vid. Look, he's up at 4:30 a.m. He ain't home till 10. And that's all there is to it. But I did like it that he has a normal job, works with his mate. I think Battles is brilliant. but his mate, who he's got the job with doing the carpentry, he better hope that Pooh Bear don't turn up instead of Battles.
Especially with all those tools and those circular saws spinning around. Who knows what'll happen?
You can imagine, yeah. You can only imagine.
It made me like him because it just made me go, he's a normal 9 to 5 blue collar bloke. He doesn't do this full time. He hasn't come over and he's, got someone supporting him or backing him so he can just train all day, every day and eat the good grub. And he ain't got a Porsche on the drive like Lambros or whatever from last week. He's just a normal bloke, gets up, goes to work, does some training afterwards in the hope that he can make it eventually. And I like that. And it made me go, I like him. I want him to win. He seemed like a nice enough fella, hanging around with his sisters and all that. That would be a pain in the arse, having about 5 or so sisters. That'd do my nutting. He just seems like a quite nice, laid-back bloke. Just seemed all right. Seemed like a good, ordinary fella. Simple as
Honestly,
that.
I was the same. At the end of that, I went, you know what? I like Battles.
Good I
wouldn't
want to go out on the town with him and Ryder. I mean,
no, that's not my thing. I've heard that's a real mess. Wild, that gets a bit messy.
You know what I mean? Yeah, but if we're just talking about, I need a chair fixing or something like that, then he's definitely my man. But yeah, he seemed all right, didn't he? Bit annoying, wasn't it? In the car.
I knew it. The airport drop off bit. I knew it.
I love you more. No, I love you even more. It's like flip off. When I watched that, I imagined what would happen if you were in the car and you were just about to leave your missus for 6 weeks, and it played out in my head. If you tried that Battles move and you went, I know you wouldn't, but let's just say you did do, I love you. But this is the response you'd have got for your boss. Hurry up and get out the car. There's someone behind trying to get past. That's the response you'd have got. You wouldn't have got, I love you more. You'd have got smashed.
Absolutely. And rightly so for even trying that crap. Yeah, I was the same. This was just at the point where I went, you know what? He'd done the carpentry. He was hanging around with his family. And I went, I like Battles. And then I even liked the bit before that where he said, look, I've got someone else to fight for now. My wife is pregnant. I liked all of it. Even that weren't too mushy for me. I still like that. I'd made a decision. I went, you know what? I like Battles. And then they pulled up at the airport and I went, ooh, I don't know. You've ruined it a bit now.
Yeah, it was definitely too drippy.
Yeah, well, obviously that's because Brian Battles came out and not Pooh Bear. I needed a bit of Pooh Bear at that moment,
Let us know in the comments. Is that how it would go with you and your missus if she dropped you off the app? I'm telling you now, I don't know anyone that would have that kind of a send-off. I love you more.
Like what you say about the Hollywood movies, isn't it? The way they behave with their wife and kids and all that. It was a bit like that. I don't know if it was for show. Well, let's say, was it for show? I don't know. Maybe that's what they're like. It was being filmed. They knew they were filming it. He was filming it and he sent it to DeFranco. So no matter what you say, still for show, wherever he does that.
Well, definitely, because I think even if I was with my missus and it was at that stage at the airport, I'd cut the camera off and then do that chat. I wouldn't keep the camera going.
I wouldn't have sent that bit into DeFranco.
Yeah. In fact, if I did accidentally leave the camera running and DeFranco messaged me saying, here's your home video, just sign it off and agree that this is okay before we air it, I'd go, whoa, I didn't realise the camera was on at the love bit at the end of the airport. Can you cut that off, please?
Yeah, leave it. That's too Pooh Bear. Oh, sorry, I mean Battles or Pooh Bear. Pardon. Which one is it? Yeah. I agree. I wouldn't have sent that bit in. But there you go. Show saying about him. It either shows that he's brilliant or not. But overall, I like Battles. I mean, it did show his pretty big family, as you mentioned there. And a couple of his younger sisters, they were big units, weren't they?
Yeah. Since he's we know he's been eating his leftovers since he started trimming down on his portions. Let's put it like
that. Yeah. Sisters, help me cut weight, will you? I've got to get down the middles. You know what I mean? Mum keeps banging all this grub down.
Brian, we'll take care of it. Give that dinner over here.
We'll sort it out. We'll take on. We support you.
Yeah.
All right. Time for the Ultimate Fighter flashback.
What a crap one this was. 2 crap ones on a trot.
Oh, no, wait a minute. Season 23, the Dana White dunk scene. I know why you're saying that, but at the time when we watched that episode, we definitely liked that scene because we rate him for doing stuff like that, no?
No, it was crap, that scene. I The funny thing is, I've seen that scene recently. Too many scenes, but I've seen that scene recently. I can't remember where it pops up. Maybe I was watching some Ultimate Fighter best moments, to get me all excited for the new
you're
series.
all Ultimate Fighter, you, ain't you? You know what I mean? Whew, that's all you do.
Obsessed with it. And that one came up, and I remember Dana said, "This is the craziest challenge we've ever done." I was like, "What? Firing a paintball gun at a big target? That's the craziest one you've ever done."
No, it's a dunk bit that's the crazy bit, not the target.
Yeah, I know, but this is what he was saying. At the point where he was getting dunked. I mean, the version I saw, he was all like, "Right, no, hang on, guys," and like he was really bricking it.
I don't blame him.
You're about 3 foot in the air, and you've got a big tub of water beneath you with security and lifeguards around you. What is there to worry about here? If it was like a water tank full of piranhas, hungry piranhas, I'd go, fair enough. Have the squicks a little bit. But it was just like literally. It was basically like he just got in the bath.
No, it was well high up. It had slow motion, him dropping down. It looked dangerous to me.
2 foot above the water level. About 2 foot above the water level.
It looked dangerous to me.
By the time the trapdoor opened, before his head was through the trapdoor, his feet were already in the water. Basically, it was like getting in the bath. It was nothing. I don't even know what he was crying about.
I thought we liked it that he gets involved in all this stuff.
Yeah, but he made a big song and dance over that, and it really was nothing. It really wasn't.
So there's another flashback you didn't like. I liked this one, I think. Look, I didn't think it was a good one to have as the flashback. I didn't think that. But overall, I like that scene. I enjoyed watching that scene again. So in that way, maybe it was a good flashback, but it wasn't really what I expected from a flashback. So I'm going to agree that I didn't think it was a good choice, but I still like that scene. I like him. I think he's good. He's brilliant.
Well, Cordelia looked quite good on the platform as well.
We're on to the fight.
What?
That's not why she's there. She's a fighter. Have some respect.
I just said that she. Hang on, no, we've said that Petrosky looks amazing. You didn't say anything about it. You didn't go, "He's a fighter. You shouldn't look at his abs."
No, he doesn't look amazing. He's wearing that cut-off top.
Okay, when he's not wearing the cut-off top, he looks amazing, right? You had no problem with that. When I said the Battles looks good and has done a good job boiling down from heavyweight to middleweight, you didn't have an issue with that. You didn't go, "He's a fighter. You shouldn't be looking at his muscles or whatever." You had no problem with that. I say that Cordelia looks a bit smoking on top of the platform. All of a sudden, it's an issue. Why is that an issue?
Because
she looked crap up on the platform. Right, onto the fight. Is that better?
No, I just think that you've got to understand why she's there. She's there. You've got to respect the reason she's there, and it's for fighting, not for you to gawp at. That's what.
I wasn't gawping. I just said she looked quite good.
Well, which means you were gawping. Why didn't Dana White look amazing?
He did actually. He did look good.
He did look good. All powers. Yeah, all right. Great. There you go. She looked great, but yeah, I'm only joking, ain't I? On to the fight. Brian Battle versus Kemran Lachinov. We're finally on to the fight. We're on it. We're on the fight. This is what we're here for. Battle's won round one. Easy done him in round one. I mean, just silly. Skill-wise, some of the things I picked up on, I liked it when Battles had Kemran up against the cage, pushed up against the cage. He kept moving Kemran's hand out of the way, specifically, rather than just throwing knees. Volkanovski was saying, knee in this position, rather than just throwing them into nothing. He kept moving his hand out of the way and landing knees directly into the gut. I honestly thought that was really good, rather than just going, I'm going to dig a few knees into his thigh and whatever. He found a target, it worked, and he kept doing it. Drag his hand out of the way, knees directly into the gut. I thought that was really good. Also, when Cameron decided to walk forwards with his hands down, what do you mean with batteries? I got it bloody plugged in, and it's come out. When he was walking forwards with his hands down, it was good that Battles just took no notice of that. He did a bit of a Chris Weidman, Anderson Silva thing and went, I don't care. You keep walking forward. I'm still going to hit you. And Battles kept hitting him regardless. So I liked that as well. He was good. He kept calm. I thought Battles was good. He defended any of them stinking takedowns. He kept Kemran at bay, digging his foot into his gut all the time. He was always doing something. Dodged all them overhand rights. Good from Battles in round one, but really bad qual from Kemran in round one. Your assessment, please.
Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head there. I think it was one guy, as we said earlier, who looks like he's learned how to fight, and another guy who just looks like he's willing to have a fight. I mean, he even said it in his VT. One thing we didn't mention is that he basically said the reason he got into fighting is because he was basically a football hooligan, and somebody said you should do this properly, have a smash up properly.
Oh yeah,
and he fought like when you see those football hooligans and they're all, going around giving it a large, looking all tough and all that. And then you actually see them throw a punch or have a punch up and you go, oh my God, I'll bang them out in about 2 seconds.
yeah.
They're all cocky and confident and looking rock hard going around the town, but they got nothing to back up with. And that's what he looked like. He looked like someone who actually didn't look like he'd been trained how to fight properly. He just looked like a brawler. There you go, a brawler. And, Battles has looked like he spent the time actually refining how to hold his hands, how to position his feet, how to throw certain strikes. And yeah, he's not the most explosive guy in the world, as he showed when that guy did walk forward with his hands down. Battle landed a few strikes that didn't really have much impact. But that's because he's not I'm going to wing all my power into one of these strikes and throw it at your face kind of guy. He's a guy he's learning how to fight technically. And I thought he was really good. The thing that I thought that not turned the fight, but basically made the fight very much in his favor was the landing of those knees. When he separated, I was like, you should have stayed there, because I think a few more of them, this guy would crumple down on the floor.
Volkanovski told him that in between rounds as well. He said, listen, when we're in that clinch, stay there. We're doing plenty of damage there. Stay there. Don't worry about it. Don't try. You don't have to get out of it. So good point. Yeah. You did that even before the actual coach, the actual champ said himself, you said it.
It's because you could see even when at first a couple of those knees landed, and then after that you could see that he started protecting his belly. He started putting his forearm, his elbow across his belly, which is standard, right? You should obviously try and protect an area that's been struck. But it seemed to me that he was really struggling when he was landing those knees perfectly. So yeah, it was to me. It was how a fight should go down between somebody who is just a brawler versus somebody who is actually a trained fighter. That's how it should look. That's how it should go down. That's how it did go down. Now you say that's a review of round 1. I don't know why it's not a review of round 2 as well, because that's basically what happened in round 2.
Absolutely right. Round 2 is much of the same, but I'm not finished with round 1 yet, because I want to know what you thought of the hands down walk forward thing.
Loved it.
What for you? It was a bit of entertainment.
Yeah, it was a bit of entertainment. It showed me something about that fella, even though I think he's really lacking in skill sets. It showed me, look, it was bad from him, right? He should be able to keep a cool head. He should be able to control himself and all these things. It's a bad trait to ever do that in a fight, because somebody with a bit more power than Battle could have just iced him there cold. But I like the fact that he showed throughout the whole fight that he definitely wanted to win it, that he had the grit, the chin, whatever you want to call it, the heart, all those kind of things. He just ain't got none of the skills. That's the problem. If he was a top trump card, it would be heart 9 out of 10, grit 9 out of 10, chin 9 out of 10, skills 1 out of 10. Grappling 2 out of 10, striking 2 out of 10. That's the problem.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as you rightly said, round 2, it was just more of the same. So Battles won easy both rounds. And now we know why Cameron was chose last. He might like fighting. He might not mind getting it, but he ain't got much skill. Sorry.
When it came down to that last pick, if I was Ortega, I'd have probably tried to take one of the cameramen or something like that instead.
Well, it turns out that probably would have been a better idea,
Yeah.
First win for Team Volkanovski, thanks to Battles, or was it thanks to Kemran? Because there's 2 ways of looking at that, isn't there? Volkanovski wins. Ortega calls out the next fight. So I still don't get it.
That's all just a mess now. I just think
it makes no sense.
I think it's just whoever announces it. It doesn't necessarily mean who picked the fight, I don't think.
But they used to show it at the end of these fight picks. They used to have the blokes chatting about it, going, who do you reckon we should have the next fight? And you'd have one of the fighters going, well, listen, I'm ready to fight. And they'd be, nah, we don't want you yet because we want to take out this guy or that guy. There was a little bit of strategy based around that. Now we don't get anything to do with the next fight. We don't know who picked it. We don't know why. It's just, this bloke versus this bloke. It seems
I
a
liked,
bit.
I liked, I liked all that sort of. I'm going to pick this guy, or I want to fight this guy, and somebody else
Same
being like,
here.
no. I liked that. That again, it created a little bit of drama, something to watch. But like you say, now the fight just finishes, and then they're just standing there in flip flops and sliders, and somebody calls somebody else out, and that's the end of that. Just
I
no
don't get it.
intrigue, no excitement. What they should do, I think they used to do this on the Contender, where say the team that was winning and had the pick, they would obviously agree who was going to fight, but they would say, we're picking, Brian Battle, for example. Then Brian Battle would come out and he'd patrol up and down the line of say the Ortega fighters, and then go, I'm calling out, and then pick the guy, and that created a bit of drama as well. He'd walk up and down the line. They used to do that on the Contender show.
Right?
How they do that with this, rather than just having Ortega stand there, going, "We pick this bloke, be this bloke." It's just this show all over. It's boring. It's just boring.
It made it right, but we mentioned at the beginning about they've had time to think about it, and some of the aspects are actually worse. And this is one of the aspects that it took me a while, take me 5 episodes, where we have brought up the whole fight picking thing, but not in this sense. And it just made me think about it and go, this fight picking thing used to be better. It used to have something about it. The next time in the house, it might be like, "Why'd you pick me, bro?" or something like that. Or there might be something based around the picking. Now I've no idea why it was Ricky Turquoise versus Dan Argueta. I don't know why. Who picked that? Don't even know which coach picked it, and I don't know why. What's the strategy behind it?
We don't know their reasons for picking it either.
Yeah. What's the strategy?
Before they would sit there and go, Argueta's their best fighter, but he's a bit, green and a bit, not great at grappling, so we're going to put our best grappler in. There would be something. But now it's just literally they just call out 2 names. They might as well just say it's fighter A versus fighter B. There's literally nothing behind it. Just
I don't get
boring
it.
again.
I honestly don't get it. Another missed opportunity. One of the only other things that they could do to make it a bit better. And DeFranco has just tried to eliminate anything that makes this show good.
Even at the end of that Battles fight, there weren't really much to say, was there? Because even they didn't talk about it for very long, and even Dana just went, Kemran just showed he's got a tough chin, and that's it.
Yeah, but it takes more than that to be a fighter.
Even he sort of sniffed it out. Can I say now? I mean, I did say to you at the end of the last episode, Battles is going to win by a decision.
That's right.
And that's what
absolutely.
happened. I told you the week before that it was going to be a first round KO, and it was a first round KO. And I can tell all of this just by the way the show's edited.
Okay, well, we'll see. The next fight is Ricky Turquoise for Volkanovski versus Dan Argueta for Team Ortega. Based on the clips, etc., and the way the show is structured, what's your prediction for this one? Again, we know you don't know, but so far you've been right on every one of them.
Yeah, so this is going to contain spoilers. I'm going to tell you who's going to win now. This one I think is a bit more difficult. This one I think they might have done a bit of a deception on, but from what I could tell from the clips, I've got a feeling there's already, I looked at some things in Argueta when I saw him on the brief clips on the pads and stuff that I didn't like. And I think, even though I think both these guys are going to be really good, but I'm going for Turquoise to win and win early.
Okay, but that's now you've just mentioned that could be based on stuff you've seen blokes doing on pads. Are you also saying that based on the clip of the fight that they showed?
The reason I think it's going to be over early is because the clip of the fight on the show, they didn't have much in the way of a clip to show. So they didn't show sweaty people, who look like they've been through sort of like 6-7 minutes of fighting. They just showed one punch landing and then it cut away. So I've got a feeling that it probably is either the most boring fight in history, which I doubt, because I do actually think both these guys look like guys who can fight and are in good shape. I think it's going to be another really good fight. I actually think the bantamweights have been really good this series. They both look tough, these guys as well. They do look like fighters. If I saw both those guys walking down the street, I would go, they look like they can handle themselves. And I just think that from what I saw, Turquoise is going to win. Otherwise, it's going to be a first round finish, I think.
All right. Okay. Good prediction. I like it. And it doesn't matter, does it? This is just a bit of fun. But the Argueta bloke, like you say, he looks punch drunk already. He looks like a boxer. Looks like Emery Cooper or something like that. Looks like an old-fashioned bloke who's had his face smashed loads. So he looks powers. And if you remember, the Ricky Turquoise bloke, apart the Turk, what's his name? How'd you say it?
I don't know.
No, nor do I. Turquoise. He was the bloke who was picking his nose that I pointed out before in the background. if you remember, they talked about him and said that he was on the Contender before. And Dana White said, we've had our eye on him for a while, and he was too young when he was on Contender. Honestly, he looked powers even in the face-off, didn't he? What a wicked stance, wicked muscles,
he looked
good
amazing.
fist.
Yeah, that arm looked amazing. All
he looked
like shredded, and he, like I say, he just looked like something. Even the way we said before, didn't we? The way that Brian Battle was holding his hands on the picture made him look like he never boxed before in his life. But the way that Turquoise, that's obviously not the stance he will have when he fights, but the fact that even, when he was holding his hands in that way in the face-off just made me go, that's what I mean. These guys both look like they can handle themselves. The Argueta looks like a tough guy, and the Turquoise just looks like a tough guy, but he also looks like a tough guy who knows what he's doing just from the face-off.
And the Argueta bloke also looked brilliant in the face-off, but for completely different reasons. Just stood there with his hands down, with his face there going, I ain't bothered. I ain't bothered how powers you are. So I agree. Even in that face-off, I went, these both look brilliant. You know what? Honestly, I'm looking forward to that fight, for real.
I'm looking forward to that fight. What I'm not looking forward to is...
all the stuff before it.
Yeah, the home video of how one of them fights for their kids and the other one is, I don't know, whatever, would be in prison if he weren't doing this. You
may not be looking forward to it, but you may be pleasantly surprised, because the preview of the next episode shows all the pranks starting.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's going to be a nightmare in the next episode. It's going to be so crap. The only good thing was Volkanovski playing along with the joke and going, I assume the donkey's for me, right? So he's really good, Volkanovski.
Brilliant.
He's brilliant.
If that's supposed to make him angry, you could see it definitely weren't. He just came out and went, oh. Maybe that'll make the pranks thing good. But yeah, as soon as I saw the pranks, I went, oh no. Taking wheels off the car and then, I don't know. It already looked like a pouring.
It's either in their DNA that every fighter just has an urge to do practical jokes, or it's bloody Tiki, isn't it?
I was going to say, he's there, isn't he?
He's there every
one who
series.
Probably goads them on and says, listen, it's time to do the pranks. This is what happens. This is what happens every season. And I'm sure they say to him, well, how do you know? I'm on every season.
Yeah, exactly. I've done every one.
That's how I know.
I'm sure he's done this practical joke before and all. That's why it's so boring.
I'm still looking forward to it because that's what we do. Like you said, your Ultimate Fighter, obsessed. Hopefully it gets played on time this time and we're not as late out with the episode. So apologies again. And well, we'll see you for the next one then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't wait. Yeah, can't wait.
Yeah.
By the way, go outside and have a look at the wheels on your car. I came round last night and had a little bit of fun.
Oh, is Tiki staying over at the minute?
Yeah, Tiki's been over.
No worries. See you later.
Yeah, take care. See you later.